Somehow, I was on a double-decker bus. It was strange to be at this height. I felt feverish. Along the way, I saw a billboard with an idyllic image of a white-capped mountain in the clouds. "Come to Shangri-La Ski Resort. Shongdian," it read. The abode of white snow was calling me. A vast white screen where I could have a beautiful rest. Not an end, not a canceling of the future. Off the bus, I walked on under numerous umbrellas through the windy rain. Hong Kong's weather is unpredictable, and rains can be followed quickly by sunshine and heat waves. And soon, I was walking in the heat and sun. The humidity was stifling, and I was getting wetter and wetter. My discomfort and disorientation, my confusion with and about men and the program had me freaking out. Was it nausea, a fear of existence no longer evoking an abstract category, but an existential, unexplainable nothingness that has no reason to be there? My rational mind, I kept repeating the word to myself, as if in saying it would reveal its meaning to me, that it would grant me the equanimity I was in search of. I tried to remain actually detached enough to report the symptoms to myself. What exactly is neurocognitive disorder? Symptoms which could be stated as: the light at the end of the tunnel was probably an approaching train. Did I just say that? That's horrible. A horrible feeling. Just horrible. My other self, don't even call it rational. We are way beyond that now. I asked it to consider possible futures. Yes, for me. But that awful, queasy feeling in my head, in my gut, all through my body, it makes me feel betrayed by myself. It just sunk me. All these years I asked myself how much, with all the affliction, confusion, and disfigurement of the world, why believe in the great, in the consummate, the widely inexhaustible possibilities of life? I hold life to be a thing of the most inviolable preciousness, and that the entangling of so much doom and horror, the prostituting of such countless destinies, everything that in these last years has been uncontrollably growing in me into an all-renting terror, still cannot dissuade me of the fullness and goodness and congeniality of existence. But then it comes, this nausea, and it comes, and it comes, and it hurts. Is there a divine reality substantial to the world of things and lives and minds? If we habitually saw the world as infinite and holy, would we not find it a great deal less necessary to go in for borders, fighting and hatred, working up frenzies against other peoples? Who really knows what all these media viruses do to us? What all these ideas of nation states do? What all these ideas and programs do? When interviewer Pierre Berton asked Bruce Lee, "Bruce,
you still think of yourself Chinese, or do you ever think of yourself as North American?"
You know what I want to think of myself? As a human being. Because, I mean, I don't want to sound like, as Confucius say, but under the sky, under the heaven, man, there is but one family. It just so happened, man, that people are different.
I was close now, on our block of the New Joy Hotel. But there was not a light to be seen. Apparently, on this side of the island, the power had gone out. The winds had been very high, very fierce, and so knocked out the power grid. As I approached the crosswalk to my hotel, forgetting how traffic goes the other way, I stepped out in front of a car that then swerved away and beat fiercely at me. It shook me. I started to hear that crackle sound in my mind. Then I remembered this reading. Outside the walls they stand, and at crosswalks and crossroads, at doorposts they stand, returning to their old homes. And so it was the ghost unknowingly took hold of me. It was as if I was inhabited by a poison. And so I entered the hotel, the womb of myself. The poor proprietor, with a battery-running camping light at his desk, was just dripping in sweat. It was stifling inside. He had tried his generator, but without success, and promised a replacement was on its way. My mild symptoms of nausea and headache had, I am sure, progressed to a case of fever. I made it up the stairs, past a small statue of Buddha. He seemed to smile at me, and me to him. I turned on the television. Everything was in Chinese, parades and attractive news anchors and more parades and finance charts and buildings and construction and ships at sea with red flags and stock tickers. It was a mirror image of our Western media world, all the same formats. The commercials had happy, good-looking people. The news had COVID images, floodings and fires, ribbon-cutting ceremonies, and some kind of parliaments. I suppose it was different. I could not tell. I had no idea what they were saying. I had a cool towel on my head, which seemed to heat up as soon as it was applied. Torturously heat. Desolation, desperation of the raging sun, angry, scorching, the suffocating heat of summer. I went to the window, and there I saw the CCTV camera peering in at me. Against the wires of a bug-zapping paddle, mosquito blood dappled and fried. Back in the room, the television had Bruce Lee on again. Though born in San Francisco, he spent the first 19 years of his life in Hong Kong. He explains that he set up a school to teach martial arts in Hollywood. Things like judo and karate and Chinese boxing, to people like the actual people in the film Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Good-looking actors of the 60s and 70s, Steve McQueen, Lee Marvin, James Coburn. Lee said it was in order to help them to learn how to express their feelings through movements of the body. Most of them, you see, to me at least, the way I teach it, all types of knowledge ultimately are about self-knowledge. Therefore, these people are coming in and asking me to teach them not so much how to defend themselves or how to do somebody in. Rather, they want to learn to express themselves through some movement, be it anger, be it determination, or whatever. They're paying me to show them in combative form the art of expressing the human body, a combination of both a natural instinct and control, the two combine in harmony. If you have one to the extreme, you'll be very unscientific. If you have another to the extreme, you become, all of a sudden, a mechanical man, no longer a human being.
That is the type of thing you have to train yourself into. Become one with the thing.
So therefore, it's not pure naturalness or unnaturalness. The ideal is unnatural naturalness or natural unnaturalness. The idea is running water never grows stale. So you've got to just keep on flowing. I found myself with my head under the sink with water flowing on it. I said to myself, I love him. I love Bruce Lee. He will never die. As I turned my head side to side, I felt an avalanche inside. It was like getting hit by a tidal ocean wave from behind. I was tumbling down the mountain where there was no mountain. The snow was like concrete, and inside I felt on a cellular level my body being invaded, that there was something inside me, a feeling something inside me was looking around, looking for something, an invading organism. Somehow I got out from under the faucet, the water still running. I went back into the room and turned the television off. I turned my phone off. I wanted quiet on the set. Was my mind creating a scenario to go along with the physiology? Was it the physiology creating my mind? The room was overheating. I kept needing to walk to the window to look at the camera in which I could see the bathroom mirror, and thought my phone was looking at me, watching me, even though it was turned off.
I now saw myself in the mirror as being on a screen, as something strange and other, as if I was a kind of body remote, an avatar of sorts. All was jostling about in my mind, in my heart. So touched was I, a self who I didn't even know. Then I remembered reading on the plane about wet bulb temperature.
At this temperature, our bodies switch from shedding heat to the environment
I
to
had
gaining
read,
heat from it.
if the rise in average global temperature continues,
That we're already experiencing, that we already know and heard countless times, blah, blah, blah.
well, when it passes 2 degrees Celsius, we will get to some very dangerous side effects. We will almost immediately get to moments where the combination of heat and humidity is so intense that humans can't survive it. Was I the earth? Was I that very being? Anyway, all the talk that you hear out there, that you and we and me will just adapt, that we have to go with the flow, and if it gets hotter, we will just cope with it, that is fantasy thinking, because the human body, when a certain combination of high heat and high humidity is reached, dies of overheating because our sweating system doesn't work. Then my eyelids closed, but not for sleep, but so that I can remember a world, a choreography, a human elastic geography of deeply sensing each other, giving way to each other, taking up just that amount of space where I am and the person next to me, equally so, and the 10, 100, 1,000, 8 billion others, all of us, might feel for a moment a simultaneous sense of comfort, of joy. Individuals as a social organism, innately knowing and at ease with each other's unnatural naturalness. How dismembered my memories are, how fragmented, and in the next instant, completely whole. Again and again, the routine, an ever-recurring Punch and Judy show, a kind of vaudeville of loops and loops, violent and without end. A ribald sense of violence, like a sped-up silent movie, routine. My appetites going on at the rumination of the world. Abandoning one clubhouse city for another, exhausting its resources,
Becoming decadent, mannerist, tired. No likes, no comments, here and gone. An evening, a morning, an afternoon, a conversation, a century gone, a millennium. To be in the world is to penetrate, desiccate, violate, and make obscene. To such a point, it seems a kind of vaudeville. Loops and loops, dangerous and violent, and without end.
is it inescapable, or is it not?
Decadent, mannerist,
day after day, the brutal caprices of insensitivities. In an instant, these memories come back to me, very vividly. Why, I don't know. My mother kicks me. My brother beats me. My other brother pounds me black and brutally. My other brother commits suicide. My sister dies of cancer. 4 or 5 teens menace me till one punches me in the face with a hard right. Blood explodes out of my mouth. I need my front tooth replaced. They run off laughing. Moments for nothing, now as always. Time was never, and time was over. Reckoning closed and story over. No. Yes. No. In my imagination, in my memory now, I rewrite the routines, cut and paste them with new ones. What Emma said she had done with men. I reimagine and see those memory incidents from the perpetrator's point of view. I don't even want to call them perpetrators, but maybe I will. I join them. I understand them. I enjoy myself as the perpetrator doing harm to me. I am not taking me so seriously as the perpetrator. I'm just getting a good release of my tensions. I enjoy the kick, the push, the shove, the intimidation. See me cower? It's a bit of a laugh, putting the stick on me, myself, and I. Why not? They punched me, I'll punch you. We all go on, punch, drunk, punching. I let go of the hurt, the shame, the discomfort, the confusion. I forgive them. I let go of it myself. Then it's a day like any other day. This has gone on long enough. The subject, the victim, an assault, he or she must relive both the role of the victim and that of the aggressor. For a disturbing moment, a victim has to identify with an aggressor. Only by experiencing the event from all the possible perspectives can I, me, my being, my soul, make peace with it. Am I exercising myself of my shadow? Am I seeing the darkness that must go, the weighty depression that possesses and that takes hold of me? That which has formed me must wrench itself up. However far it can manage, out, up from the cycle of regret, must make a break with it. The self summons the self as a ghost, stages a seance. And the seance must be followed by an exorcism, a purification. This is no propitiation. This is a murder, a sacrifice, a holy one. Am I to understand I hurt because I am attached? I think I am shedding, but much more. I am actually manifesting the power to cast out, to stand apart, to stand in the light, to be light. Can I have this power? Well, just say yes. Stand up. You can. You will.